Welcome back to Madam Quest New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where today in UK we have Stormy Eunice, and I'm not actually sure how you say that name, but Eunice? Anyway, is passing on through. So today has been extraordinarily windy, far more so than usual, so much so that people are highly recommended to not go outside, and I have not been outside, so I've not had to brave a storm, but instead I've just sort of been casually watching it and the effect the wind is having on the trees outside my window. And I will say there's one tree, there's that one, I mean you can't see it, I'm pointing at it right now, it's swaying so much in the wind. It's almost a little bit nerve-inducing, but you know, not quite, and I trust these trees and these roots, and they're stronger storms have been here in the past, so oh well. Hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow it's 5:18 PM on Friday, February 18th, 2022. Kix is here, which means we will promptly ignore him. Sorry, Kix. Your inventory just... Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a talk to Kix, and I don't know if the 2.0 update really brought, like, new sort of, clothing items, which would just be like, ooh, over. But yeah, it is blowing through. I don't... You might be able to hear it at some point, because I did record some of the next series today, the one which is following on from One Shot. I won't tell you what it is because, you know, it's spoilers, I suppose. And I don't think I've mentioned it yet, so I think it will be a fun sort of spoiler. But most people don't really find out because they don't watch the Animal Crossing videos anyway. That's only for the true diehard fans, so maybe I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler randomly in this episode, so you're going to have to watch this entire thing to find out. That's a little bit cruel, but, you know, then you do what you must because we can, in the infamous words of Gladys. But yeah, the wind has mostly died down now around at this sort of time. It was very, very big in the afternoon, from about lunchtime, you know, from about 12 to 4 onwards. Not onwards, between, sorry. It was crazy big. And, you know, it's... Perhaps, I don't know, because if you haven't been in the UK, you probably haven't heard the news about it, but in the UK, you know, we've had, like, storm warnings and weather warnings being like, don't go out on this day or whatever because of this, and, you know, a lot of, I believe, the transport services have shut down. A lot of things have been shut down because of it, because people are, you know, I think fairly rightfully scared that, you know, the storm could cause, not catastrophic damage per se, but it could end up in a lot of result in injuries and perhaps loss of life if people weren't careful. That's it, because as I understand it, inevitably it does sort of happen quite often whenever these sort of big storms pass through that some casualties do occur. So I suppose we're, as a country, operating on a scenario being better safe than sorry, which is fair enough because it's not like it's just for one day. If it is one day, it'd be like don't travel unless you really have to, then you know it's fine. Most people are just gonna be like, all right, you know, and hey, you know, and it's like an example with me and my friends who were like, hey, you know, you want to go out on this day? Oh, you know, instead of doing it that day, let's just move it to a different day instead. Simples. We'll get another one of these, like, what are they, Valiant statues or whatever these. Yeah. But yeah, overall the storm hasn't been too bad personally for me. I know some people have lost power, which is, you know, not great. My condolences to you. Like one of my friends, she's lost power. But on the whole, I would say I remain fortunate that I've not particularly been, oops, didn't mean to do it, been affected by the entire situation. The entire situation of a storm which has been unfolding, and I don't know how much longer it's going to go on for, but I certainly noticed it this morning when I woke up and, you know, I was just casually lying in bed and I just heard outside my window going, but that's the best way I suppose I can imitate a storm wind noise, and I don't mean storm wind champion to the arena. Is that a storm wind's quote? I can't remember. I haven't played Hearthstone for ages, and I don't really intend to be honest. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like the first big storm that's blown through UK. In fact, there was one when I was much younger, back in primary school. I don't remember which storm it was, to be particularly honest. I just remember, I think, like, I still went to school during the time, which is a bit of a weird thing. We didn't have, like, a reaction, I suppose, nationally to be, like, a essential travel only. But, yeah, but that one was actually quite bad from what I recall. I remember someone in the years above me house got, like, not like completely destroyed or something, but like a big tree fell on it or something, maybe like a big aerial post, or maybe the roof came off. I can't quite recall, but like part of it was destroyed, so they had to go like stay in someone else's house right now for, and I was like, whoa, that is crazy. Like even though I was like 4 or something, I can still comprehend how utterly insane that must have been. Utterly frightening as well. Like I live in I don't live like in a remote countryside, and I live in just like a smallish town or whatever. But there's a lot of trees nearby. And these are very tall trees, and I honestly I don't know what they are. They must have been growing here for like hundreds of maybe not hundreds, that's a bit much. Maybe like 50 odd years or something. They are incredibly tall. Like this must be like that one must be like 20 meters tall or something. No, hold on. Maybe more than 20 meters. I'm not very good at us estimating heights. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. But I don't think many human beings are, so I'm not going to take that as a particular sour point, I suppose. Let's have a chat with Kick's old chum, see if we got anything cool. Oh, I feel cheeky. Or, I thought this was a bindle or something. No, is this for Tanuki bag? These do look like new bags. I don't recognise some of them. I don't know what that other blue one is either. Is it? Whoa, that's a new bag. Electronic. Are these held item bags? Are these new? I don't know when they got introduced, but that's very exciting. Yeah, they're very, very, very tall. Trees and outside my window, which I suppose these are held items. That's so cute. When did these get introduced? They must have been introduced a while ago. We just never really paid attention because we never been to Kicks. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember if anything else really happened. Oh yeah, that big storm happened. Lived in a different house at the time, of course, but I feel like I remember like we had like fences in our backyard between us and our neighbour, and the fences just got totally like they're like these big sort of panel fences or whatever, and like quite a few of the panels just got like totally blown out and blown over and like into our garden, into her garden or whatever. She was quite like an old lady. I don't know if she retired or maybe she was around retiring age or like, just below or whatever. So she's very nice. I think my father might have helped her like repair the fences. I can't honestly recall. But that was pretty wild. You might be like, what about the fence on the other side? Well, I didn't have anything happen to it because it was one of those like sort of what do we call it? Picket fences. Picket fence? Is this the right type of fence? Just like the bog standard like tiny fence you have with a slats. Yeah, it was kind of like a picket fence, I suppose. I think it just got knocked over, but you know that's pretty easy just to sort of like pick back up. To be perfectly honest, I'm trying to remember. I remember a lot of like oh, there was another big storm actually that happened when I was in secondary school. Because I remember, because like the roof of our school, not the entire school, our school was actually split up through like multiple different buildings, but like the roof of the main hall building got like completely taken off or something, and they had to have like repairmen come in or something to do it, and we weren't allowed to go in for a while, from what I remember. I think I was in like year 7 or 8 around that time. I can't really recall exactly what happened, but there was a lot of construction. I remember going on that thing, and then you know. It was just, ooh, looks like we got the nighttime island. Always very exciting. Certainly my favourite one because we can always get new recipes. I don't know if we need to customise our shovel because we haven't done it for a while, but I think I'll customise it now, just in case. And of course we'll take whatever star fragments we can get, because I don't want my shovel to be breaking. So yeah, I mean, obviously these storms aren't like the worst things in the world, compared to like, things like hurricanes that a lot of other countries have, or tornadoes or whatever, but you know, UK tends to be quite mild when it comes to sort of weather events. The worst things we tend to get are usually floods, I would say. Like we don't get earthquakes. There was like one time when I was younger there was an earthquake or something. I'm gonna let this mosquito bite me so we don't have to deal with it in a bit, because it might interrupt the rock hitting in a second. Yeah, I mean, the events which happen during UK tend to not be very calamity. Wait, that's not how you use that word. I don't want to say climactic. That's not the right word. I want to use calamity, but is that adjective? Is that? Can you do that? Probably. Calamitous? Is that a word? That doesn't sound like a word. Anyway, yeah, but there has been an earthquake when I was very young. I slept through it because it happened at like 5 AM or something. It woke some of my family members up, but me, you know, I'm quite a heavy sleeper. I sleep through whatever, to be perfectly honest. So I had no idea it even happened. So I still don't really know what an earthquake even feels like, I suppose, which is, I suppose, a good thing in the end, you know. there have been floods, of course, in the past. I wonder if we can have enough inventory space. I'm just trying to figure it out. But we have a Starburst yet, which is nice. It's a new recipe, especially because we haven't been keeping up with Celeste to see if she's been out and about to get her recipes from her. Yeah, apart from that and like floods, I think I guess heavy winds would probably be the next biggest thing which happens, which don't happen that often. I'm going to be honest, seeing as, you know, the amount of times I can record it happening in my entire life has been about 3, including this one, so I'm sure there's been bigger storms. They're probably just like not entirely in my memory, which is, you know, I guess fair. You know, it always annoyed me with these fragments have not exactly the actual birthstone colours. Like, what is Libra? Hold on. Libra... No, to be fair, now I think about it, birth month birthstones tend to be, and don't quite line up with astrological signs. They are ever so slightly different. Just trying to figure out where to stand so we don't block the moon. Because I don't want to block the full corn, the blue corn moon. And as we learnt, a corn moon is a name for the first moon of a month. In September or October, I don't remember. No, it seems like it's better off on this side. I will make wishes. So yeah, but Stormy is very much calmed down. I don't know if it's mostly over now. There have been some big things which happened. I've learned about the O2 Arena, which is this big like sort of stadium in London. And I don't actually know where in London. I don't know which region. My knowledge of London is not that comprehensive. Yeah, the O2 Arena, like where the roof has been blown off. It's got like a big hole in it. I'm not actually sure what the roof is made of the O2 Arena. But maybe some sort of like canvas thing. Let's see. O2 Arena. You can see top news, Storm Eunice, Arena close. O2 Arena closes, a roof shredded in high winds. Like, obviously it doesn't look like some sort of like metal or something. It's got like a metal frame, but I don't actually know what the material is made out of. But you can search it as, well, you can search it if you want, you know, O2 Storm or something. I don't know why there's a whole article for this entire thing, because there must not be much that you can really say about this entire thing. The fact BBC wrote a whole article about this is crazy. Let's see if there's anything else. In pictures, Storm Eunice reaches UK. How do you even say Eunice? Define Eunice. It's a name. It's a Greek god. No, Greek baby name. Good victory, joyous victory. She conquers. But how do I pronounce it?
Eunice.
Like that apparently. It is Eunice. Okay, Eunice. We've got some pictures here from BBC. Just load of water being like strewn about. Yeah, I wonder what material this even is for O2 Arena. But yeah, obviously don't go swimming. I mean it's a bit late if you heard us. Oh look, the top section of a spire in St Thomas's Church in Somerset has fallen. A load of pictures of people being outside, which is wild. I'm trying to think of anything else crazy that's happened, like in previous times. Yeah, a lot of trees have fallen over. Oh yeah, I think this happened like in primary school. We had like a big tree in our primary school which like toppled over during that storm. I wonder. Hold on. I wonder if I can find out the exact year it happened. Big Storm UK 2000s, not 200s, not the floods of 2000s. I do remember those as well though. Were those caused by big storms? I don't know. 10 of the worst weather events that shook Britain. Okay, which of these was I actually alive for? 2003, hottest day in history. Barely remember. Serious flooding. I don't want flood, I want storm, I don't know. Storm Eunice. Who names these storms anyway? Storm Eunice. Oh no, a casualty. That's no good. That's something horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's much other news, I suppose, in way of sort of things. And very much seems to have calmed down for now. I'm a little bit suspicious of that tree, which swayed so much, but I don't know, its roots held strong. It's like, these trees are very tall, they're very thin and very tall, they're not like great oaks or anything. I'm not even sure what type of tree they are, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Maybe like an ash tree? This is where you sort of Google it. England tall thin trees, because oak trees have like really strong and thick bases. They don't tend to draw. Oh, maybe it's like an aspen tree. Sorry, that name just randomly came to mind. It's not thistle tree. It's like thistle tree. It's not a birch tree, definitely. But birch is very you can tell by their trunk. We don't actually tell a beech tree. Oh, are they beech trees? Maybe. The woodland trust. Maybe they can tell us. It's not an ash tree. It's not that bushy, and it's not aspen. It's also not that bushy. It's very thin. It's very tall and slender. The branches don't. I mean, they extend out a bit, but they don't really go out that much. I know you can identify them from the leaves, but I'm not really that knowledgeable. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Elm tree? Maybe? I don't know. It doesn't really matter what tree these are. I suppose, but very, very tall. They must have a like huge like moments of inertia because of the roots, you know, they're being the pivot and all that. Must be kind of terrifying. Like if you had a squirrel in that top tree. There often are squirrels, I suppose, climbing these trees. I don't know if any of them made their nests in there or birds or anything, but yeah. Also, I think there was also big storms in the past because like big like branches of like from trees that like fell over and like ended up in our garden. I remember this was a couple of years ago, I think actually. I think I was in a uni at the time or something, because I remember I was there and I was having to like saw up all these like giant tree branches or whatever so we could actually like dispose of them and compost them, because you can't just like pick up a giant like probably I don't know several 100-kilogram like not tree trunk but like big mass of tree collections or whatever and just like casually toss it into like your compost bin or whatever. You have to like break it apart or whatever, because one, I'm not superhuman, I'm not Luisa from Encanto, so there's a limit to my abilities of what I can lift. But also I don't really know, can you just do that? Can you just like put a giant tree branch like on bin day and then like the garbage collectors will just like come around and just like get rid of it? Probably not. Oh, I mean, often when things are pretty big, you need to pay like special services, special fees and services to actually dispose of it. Which fair enough. I think we probably wished upon enough stars now. It seems like we've done. I don't know what I just clicked on. Where's my mouse? Oh, it's up here. But yeah, I mean, not much has been going on apart from Storm, Eunice, and that sort of thing. You might have been asking what I've been up to. Just doing some programming practice. I'm currently stuck on this one right now. If you want to know what I'm doing, it's basically I need to sort of find a load of primes. And then from the primes, I need to determine which of them to keep based off of another list. And I keep them depending if they divide into the ones in the list or not. And then I need to keep track of which ones they essentially need divided into, kind of. It's on Code Wars, not Kata. Not Kata Wars, that's not a thing, Code Wars. If you want to know what it's called Sum by Factors. And I'm just trying to figure it out because, I've got my sieve of Eratosthenes working. Sieving out is getting all those prime numbers, but it's still a bit too slow. I can't figure out why. And well, I know why. It's because I'm working out too many prime numbers than what I need. But I just need to figure out how to deal with those edge cases, so I can significantly reduce the amount of prime numbers I need to actually compute in the first place. But that's not very interesting. Programming talk, not very interesting. Oh, I did have an interesting talk with one of my friends. He studies like linguistics, I think like that, and he was asking about basically, and he was reading a study, and they were talking about like Markov processes or something as a like a process they use in the study. And he was just asking like things about it, and clarification things. I do have familiarity with Markov processes. It was like an entire module, I suppose, a university course. So I guess that was an interesting discussion, but that's just kind of like personal life stuff, which I don't know. I do stray from talking about all too much, but I don't know. If you're in the UK, has the storm affected you? I suppose if you're not in the UK, you might laugh at us. I was gonna say UK, that's not a word. At people's responses, I suppose, maybe to a storm, which you might have been like, hey, that's not even that big deal. I thought I just had a shooting star. That was weird. But it probably was just like the twinkle from the soundtrack. And I suppose in some ways you might be right. Certainly the UK doesn't get nearly as big events and big disastrous events, I suppose, as other countries do. But we can only prepare for what we get, I suppose. Must have sounded like I started crying. I did not start crying. I had to sneeze. Oh yeah, did I mention this? I started recording the next series. I suppose it's been long enough. If you got this far in today's episode, you'll have a nice little sneak peek into what the next Let's Play is following one shot, which should end, I think, about halfway through March. But it's Chicory, A Colourful Tale. What? I know, right? It's also delightful so far. It's adorably cute. I'll apologise, I suppose, in advance. The first 2 episodes, I could not decide if I was meant to be using a controller or mouse and keyboard. So I started using a controller and was painting things really slowly. So when I switched to mouse and keyboard, but my keyboard's like kind of loud. At some point, I need to buy one of those really like quiet keyboards. I know what keyboard I want. Like, I was looking at keyboards ages ago. I was like, oh, there's not many people who make like super quiet keyboards, because I don't really care much about the sort of tactile feel that comes with a mechanical keyboard. I just want it to be quiet and with a bit of tactile feel, you know. I don't want it to be like completely squishy or whatever, but sound is more important than feel for me personally. So there was this brand, I think it was called like Ducky or something. We had like a Ducky One keyboard, which was quite nice, and had like I can't remember what it's called. I think it had like, they're called like pink switches or something, which are like silenced red switches. I don't really know much about mechanical keyboards or whatever, but I don't like the click clack sounds. So at some point I'll get a keyboard, and I'd very much like a very not soft necessarily, but very quiet keyboard, you know. Because I suppose it's a bit of a weird situation where I'm using like this Dell keyboard that I got given ages ago. Actually, I'm not even sure. No, this wasn't my old keyboard. This was a keyboard I can't remember what I got given. I think it was like I stole it from somewhere or something. Not literally stole it, but like it was like just like given out as like an old computer part, and I just, you know, it was like, sure, I'll take it. And I'm using a much more high tech like rest of my setup. You know, got good computer, got like a good like what it is, what's this called, the audio device? That's not what it's called. External audio device. You know, I've got Logitech G502 mouse. At some point I'll get a good keyboard. Should we see how expensive they are nowadays? It's Ducky One Silent Red. I think that's what they were called. How expensive is it? £100. See, I want a full keyboard. I don't want a small keyboard. I don't know why I'm doing keyboard shopping in the middle of an Animal Crossing video, but what if I just search like Silent Red? See, I don't want these mini ones. Trust Gaming, £35. Very cheap. Don't know if it's any good. So here's the Ducky One again. Ooh, look at this one in such a cute colour. I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure this out, I suppose, at my own course. Just a human I wanted to see. What? I've always wanted a mama bear. Found one on sale and stocked up. Aww. Thank you, Vivian. What are we gonna do now? I suppose we'll just do a good old Nook Bar missions. Probably have another DIY recipe. I don't know what we got. A star push it. Let's get rid of oh, what the heck did media come from? Hello. Talk to people, plant, chop wood, change outfit. Okay, hello. So yeah, I don't know. It's currently around sunset. I'm looking outside because, you know, it's gone considerably darker. You know what? I'm gonna draw my curtains. Don't want people peeking in, especially when I got the light on inside. You never know. You have a very nice, satisfying ASMR sound about the curtains being drawn, and you can have the sound of me being like a million miles away from my keyboard. Not really that far away, but still. Yeah, I don't know. Storms, try to think. It always is a bit nerve-wracking because, you know, sometimes storms come and go. You know, like strong gale winds. Actually, I'm not sure if I should say gale winds, because gale isn't like an actual classification of winds. It needs to like hit a certain wind speed, doesn't it? I don't really know them off the top of my head. But you know, when you're younger, yeah. So I'm not gonna say it's scary, but it's like weird, I suppose. Excuse me. Before when you go to sleep, you're like listening in at night, and you just hear like sounds going outside your window. I'm not sure if I was particularly scared of it, but you know, there was always a worry that like a tree would fall over and, you know, like hit me in my sleep, and I'm like, I don't really want that to happen, to be particularly honest. I can't imagine many people would. Unless, I don't know, you're trying to claim some insurance. I can't even like concoct of a situation. But yeah, I don't know. Storms come and go. hopefully you're staying safe in this one. I know it's quite a narrow audience I'm talking to, just like for all my UK viewers. But I don't know, maybe there's a storm affecting you in your country, in which case I hope you stay safe and that as well. We saw a damsel fire literally just a second ago, so I'm going to try and seek it out again. But otherwise, I think we'll just round off this episode here. I don't really have much else to say, and we don't really have much else Nook Command mission wise to go. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me, Dear Darling, Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.